Hi guys, we're going to talk more about the Wizard one today. You'll notice that all three LEDs are lit up green. The left LED indicates that we are now in the smart mode. If I come back one, that's our angle mode. You see it turns purple. That's what I prefer to fly in. And then all the way back is return to home, and it turns red. The right LED indicator is battery, the vehicle battery, or the H's battery. When it starts to blink rapidly, you have 50% left. When it starts to blink slowly, you have 25% left. It does some other functions that you need to look up in the manual. But I want to test dynamic return to home today. Now, since the Wizard was already bound to the H, I did not have to power up the ST16. I just powered up the Wizard and then the H. Now, I always boot up facing north. It's probably a superstition. Some APM guys say that that's what you should do, and I always do that. So let's go ahead and take off in the angle mode. So I'm just going to arm the engines, or the motors. Hold the Wizard vertical. Get a little distance from us. Now it's going to be a little difficult for me to get this gear up holding the camera, but here we go. I'm going to push both buttons. And our gear's gone up. Let's get a little distance out, and we're going to keep her low to the horizon. Now, this is a non-pro, so it does not have real sense. The return to home altitude is fixed, so you have to be sure that there's no obstructions between you and the home point. And this is dynamic return to home, so it should come right back to where it was, because it will not avoid them. The Typhoon Pro with real sense will avoid obstacles on return to home, so setting your return to home altitude is not as important. Here we go. I'm going to switch into return to home. See, our Wizard turned red. Our H has risen. Look at that, gears coming down. Alright, no reason to make it land, so I'm going to abort, put it in angle mode. You see it turn purple, both the Wizard and the H. Alright, so I'm going to go back into the smart mode, and I'll tell you why. When I'm in the smart mode now, the H is going to follow me. So if I start walking, the H is going to walk with me. We're going to set a new dynamic home point. Let's get about 40-50 feet from where we were. All right, gears coming up. Wizard horizontal, fly her away. Low to the horizon. Return to home. There she goes. Gear coming down. All right, just in front of me. All right, let's abort again. And the reason I want to abort is I want to show you some watch me stuff. Okay, let's put our gear back up. All right, we're going to go back into the smart mode here. So I'm going to click up. You're going to see that the Wizard's going to go green and the H goes green. And now, did you notice that the camera aimed at me? The camera is now in watch me mode. Now if I walk to the left and I'm on the smart mode, you're going to see the Typhoon H is not only going to follow me, but notice that it's training the camera on me. Now, if I get out of watch me mode, watch the camera. You see it just pointed FPV or forward. Now it'll still follow me, but our camera is no longer aimed at me. It can be controlled by the ST16, or you are in the FPV mode. So let me go back into the watch me mode. Watch the camera carefully. And as you can see, it directed itself at me. All right, at the same time, I'm gonna move the wizard. We have a breeze right now, but I'm gonna move the wizard up and down. And you can see the H react. The dynamic altitude is much better in this version of the firmware than it was before. So this is pretty amazing. The H is following me, watching me, controlling altitude and distance. Let's walk towards it rapidly, see what happens. Let's walk back. Pretty responsive. And it's very smooth. If you look at the footage, it's very smooth. Let's get a close-up of that camera doing watch me. Now I'm in the smart mode right now, so as I walk up towards it, it wants to move away from me. So I'm going to try to zoom in a little on it. There we go. You see the camera. Now you notice that little blip there is because I'm using one hand to press both buttons. I didn't press them exactly simultaneously, so I got a little yaw input. Let's try it again. And there comes the camera back. Let me zoom out a little. Really like this feature. It's great when you're in a vehicle. It's watching me, following me, controlling altitude. Alright guys, this one's going to be a little nerve-wracking. I don't know what the H and the wizard are going to do, but I'm going to power off the wizard. We're about 30 feet up, and we're in the angle mode with the gear up. Here we go. Wizard is off. Look at that. Wizard's powered down. H came right over to where I was, and it's hovering. So it's using dynamic home point for the last known location of the wizard. Rear LED is blinking blue rapidly. Rear arm LEDs are red. Right one's green, left one's blue. Alright, let's power up the wizard. Okay, we got a purple light, which means we're in angle. Green light, green light. Well, it blinked. Let's see if I have control. I do not. Oh, I do have control. That's pretty awesome. One thing I really have come to appreciate with this wizard is how accurately you can fly or land, not fly. If you fly in the angle mode, as I'll show you here, the movements are kind of jerky. But if you want to land, look how precise you can do that. Just tap the button. I'm tapping the button. Now, one thing I'll say, did you see that little bunny hop there? Let's go back up. When you hit the ground, you need to hold the button down. If you don't, it won't go into the idle position. Now it's in the idle position, we can disarm. Let's arm back up. Let me show you that again. Armed, take off. Okay, we're going to bump down very gently, and this time I'm not going to hold the down button. Okay, we're down. See that little blip? It's because I wasn't holding the button down. It doesn't know we landed. This time I'm going to blip it down. Down, 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 down. And now I'm holding down. And you can hear the motors change tone and it goes into an idle mode. This is pretty interesting. I just landed. You can see the motors are idling. Watch the camera. It's still following me. Interesting. Well, I think this H is really cool. Let's disarm.